Hello, and welcome back to the world of Arklands and to Mai's Academy. When we last left our heroes in training, they
abused Cass?
Yeah, I do think
took no
that's...
part.
You did actually.
Hell
No,
morning.
you did.
In the morning.
You did
Okay,
in the
that
morning.
wasn't... That was a mean-natured prank. What Elle did was borderline abuse.
Yes.
Bullying.
Yeah, there was a bit of bullying.
Yeah.
Not condoned. But some very good conversations that came as a result, which I do believe was Elle's actual intent.
Yes, he's just
Unfortunately-
Bro needs to work on his approach.
Yeah,
A little bit.
He's dumb of ass. That's what they call
We
it.
can roast him because Ryan's not here.
Yes, unfortunately, Ryan will not be able to join us this week, but the show must go on. But after some bullying, some very good conversations, and some much-needed recuperation and downtime, that's where we return for tonight's episode of Mai's Academy. And welcome back. So, we pick up on, I believe, the second. It was the first. Did y'all finish out the day? I think so.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, more or less.
Right now, you did because
Elle went to bed.
Elle went to
early.
bed.
Yeah.
Elle went to bed early. Oh, well,
Well, he went to bed early, yeah.
no, he didn't go to bed early. He went to bed in the morning.
Yes.
The night
Okay.
passed.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
He stayed up waiting to see if
Which
Caspian...
is still early.
But
it's
there's
like-
a difference. He's going to bed early in the day, not early in the evening.
Yes, that's true.
Yes, that's true.
It's like 8
We still
a.m. and he
have
got into bed
day.
and then the bed collapsed.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is the morning of the second. The second day of Noril. The third month of the year. And the last day of the school week proper. So, is there anything that y'all would like to do?
We are not required to attend classes this
Nope.
week? Okay.
This will be the last day of that, regardless.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Cass will go visit Risha.
Okay. Fair. Yeah, easy enough. You're able to find your way towards the lower section of the school, the vault. Currently, Risha and Kepri are sitting at a kind of joint desk, one on either side of it. Kepri is sorting through something. It looks like it's grains of sand, but who knows? And Risha is currently reading.
Cass is actually going to kind of like peer at that and see what is it.
Go ahead and make me a nature check.
Oh, nature. Oh,
Yep.
I hope that's not. 7.
Looks like sand.
Like, huh? Okay.
He's just... You can't really tell what the distance... Like, there's one big pile in the middle, and he's separating some into one pile and some into another, and you cannot tell what the difference between them is.
Understood. Cass will walk over to Risha and whisper, "May I have a word?"
Yeah.
He seems rather busy.
We can speak here, it's fine.
Okay, I just didn't want to throw off his count or whatever it is he's doing.
There's very little that can disturb him right now.
Understood. I was wondering if there was any update on the topic I asked about when I got here.
What's your passive perception?
Passive is 11.
11. Okay. Cool. Yes, as of right now, no. Unfortunately, there are few leads to be followed in this precise moment. There are things that are more long-term that we are looking into, but nothing that is immediately applicable.
I see. Okay. I don't suppose... I know you're probably going to turn me down, but there's nothing I can do to help with it.
Perhaps in a few years.
I really don't want to wait that long.
While I can certainly appreciate that, the reality is teachers, graduated students, and 4th or 5th years are the only ones with the capability to look into some of these things. It's not a matter of willingness or opportunity. It is... We don't want to lose more students in pursuit of...
I understand. I appreciate it.
But if something comes up that is within your purview,
Please. I would appreciate being able to contribute. While I'm here, I am curious on a completely different topic. You are the teacher that teaches about the soul.
yes, I am.
So you might be able to help me understand how... If I were to have encountered someone who seemed completely normal, vaguely normal on the outside, but gave off an undead aura, how does that happen?
I see.
Oh, we gotta fix that fridge.
Saying.
How familiar are you with the undead?
Not, I mean, I don't specialize in it or anything, but, I mean, I know a little bit about them. But not enough for this, which is why I'm confused.
The most common way that undead are created is that a body is taken and a spirit born of Hades is summoned to animate it. Now, it's frequent that necromancers do not even know that they are doing this, but it has been studied, and that is the most common method. This is why undead react so strongly to divine magic, and that of Elysium.
Okay.
It is not the only way to create undead, but the most common. Why do you suppose they call the spirits into bodies? Why not animate a suit of armor or a block of wood carved to have the appearance of some deadly creature?
Because bodies already have joints and bones and structure, and it's
Certainly,
easy to...
but they also fall apart.
Yes.
The answer is that a body, by default, is capable of holding a soul.
Okay.
That is why you can summon a spirit of Hades to animate it. That is also why it is possible to resurrect someone. While there are cases, you don't get, most often, the case of someone else's soul in a body. When you cast a resurrection spell, there is an intrinsic link between the body and the soul.
Right.
The phenomena you are describing could have many sources, but ultimately, on a scientific level, what happens when the soul is called back into the body, but something goes wrong? If something interrupts the process, if it's incomplete, if there is a contaminant on a spiritual level of some kind, the sources are myriad.
Would the body not reject the soul then?
No, as in the case of most undead, it's perfectly capable of holding it. But if there's an interruption in the process, that is why there can be overlap between something that appears to be normal, but could classify as undead. A spirit in a body that is where something went wrong.
Okay. That's, I guess, a reasonable explanation. Is that not something that can be, like, repaired?
In time, perhaps. But one question ultimately is, why?
Why repair it, or why does it need to be repaired?
Both. We have multiple high-level clerics, druids. There are many here that could heal Douglas's leg. It is missing from the knee down. That is why he's in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what he wishes.
Why not?
At this point, it's part of who he is.
I can understand that, to an extent.
In your observations of this individual, has their adjacency to the undead been the source of any issues?
Not other than being startling, but...
Certainly, but you can
past that now.
also be quite startling without that.
Yes. I can't say that there's any distinctive issues.
And perhaps one day there might be. And if those happen, something will have to be done to help it.
When a body is fully remerged with its soul, it is as though the person had never lost it. They are rebound completely. Correct?
To a degree. The reality is that it's not so black and white.
Yes. Well, I suppose my question then would be, if a body is not fully merged with the soul, would the potential for a loss of connection to the weave cause issues for that individual?
Thankfully, no.
Okay.
For the same reason that an undead cannot be simply dispelled by dispel magic. The magic was in the summoning, not the presence of... It's for the exact same reason that even when it is successful, you cannot dispel magic on someone who has been resurrected.
Okay.
And the idea that it is bonded as if nothing happened, I would say is not fully accurate. For example, your housemate, Kakari. There was the unfortunate incident the first week where he died.
Yes, I remember that quite vividly.
There are burns on his arms from that incident. That cannot be healed. I would guess, if someone were able to look at his soul, that they would be present there. It's not always the case, but... And I certainly hope they do not cause him pain. But those scars are likely to be permanent. Even if his entire body were disintegrated and resurrected and rebuilt from the ground up, it's very likely that those burn scars would still be there.
Huh. That's a very interesting concept.
They are part of who he is now.
Scars of the soul. Do those scars fade?
Potentially, in time. It depends on the impact of the incident. Someone who's died 100 times may not receive a scar on every one. Someone who's died twice likely will.
I really hope I don't die.
No. Some people become proud of those scars.
Well, not to seem vain, but I'd prefer to remain scar-free, if possible.
An understandable request. It is possible that at some point, this person you met could be restored. But that's their journey.
Understood. Thanks for taking the time to enlighten me on that.
As you put it, it's a bit of a specialty. When you can project your own soul beyond your body, you become a bit of an expert.
That sounds very impressive. I don't know that I will ever learn to do that, and nor do I think that I want to.
It is a very specialized skill.
Well, I will leave that to the specialist then. Appreciate your cooperation and teaching me.
It is literally my job.
Well, I'm sure you will see me many more times.
I look forward to it.
Thank you. And Cass will turn and walk away.
Yeah. Yeah, that is reference to the fact that she is a monk of the astral self.
Ah.
So, anything...
I love that she knows exactly who Cass is talking about.
Considering she was part of the process
Yes.
of
Exactly.
reconnecting, and that they're in the same, not just the same house, but the same team, immediately knew.
And Cass has no idea she knows.
Nope.
Yep.
That's why he's taking those insight classes.
Exactly.
That is true. So, unless there's anything that the two of you wanted to do.
Aries gonna make Elle some soup. Aww.
Yes,
And some tea.
And that is a, L, as you... We kind of talked about this outside, but, L, as you two are kind of getting around your day, is tossing and turning in bed.
His broken bed.
His broken bed. There appears to be a degree of karmic retribution
Serves him right.
for what he put Caspian through, where he is feeling quite ill.
Yep.
So,
Aries takes
Aerie
a
makes
mini
him some
trip
soup.
to the copper captain. Gets some egg noodles and some chicken broth.
You can probably...
And some slime shots.
Yes. Would she think to do that?
I don't know.
Depends on how much she paid attention to the first shopping trip.
How much? How
Some
much does she
some
understand
fantasy
the
ginger
currency?
ale.
Yes.
Some fantasy lemon lime Gatorade. Some ice chips. Just like
The whole deal.
kind of
Yeah.
just makes him a little thing and then just slides it, like opens the door a little bit, slides it and closes the door. Doesn't interact.
Very nice.
Just has it there. And then Aries gonna find the mail, I guess, to see if she got a letter from Olive about the dragon
Uh-huh.
and a letter back from
So, okay, yeah. Yeah, so you would talk to, if my brain would work, Kamar, the one that runs the tram.
Okay.
There's only one letter.
Okay.
I don't have it written out,
That's
but
fine.
Olive says that she spoke to Thalion about it, and that the option is there if you would like to.
Okay.
And as for your inquiry on the dragon, there's not a lot of information. Well, they have some information, but there's specifics would be, if you want specific information, they might be able to find that. But
Yeah.
unless they just want to send you a few books on the topic, which they could, but it would
Yeah.
be probably simpler. I would like you to make an investigation check.
All right. All right, that's an 18.
An 18. Sorry, give me a minute. With an 18, there is there's imprints on the bottom half where there does not appear to be anything written. At least nothing that you can see.
Okay.
But you do notice, and you are familiar that Olive enjoys
Codes.
and secret messages and the like.
She does.
Yep. So you have that.
All right. Yeah, I guess we'll just spend the rest of the day kind of going through and deciphering that then.
Yep. Go ahead and roll me. I'll say another investigation check.
Can I use my passive?
Uh,
Which is a 22.
You know what? Sure. With it, especially if you spend the day looking at it,
I mean, we can still do stuff, but Aries is going to be mostly focused on this.
That's fine.
We did the whole weekend.
Well, yeah, we have the weekend.
But yes, you are able to. Sorry, I am trying to find a thing that my brain is refusing to give me. But throughout the course of the day, you are able to discern that it is invisible ink. And so at some point you find a candle or something like that, and you kind of hold it close, and you see more of the message appear, where Olive alludes to the fact that there are some items of interest where the last known location is Firesight's hoard. Things that she doesn't give you specifics, but encourages in further investigation. It's possible that it's already been raided and that
Stuff is long gone.
it's long gone. But on the off chance, you're already in the general vicinity for an extended period of time. So,
Yeah. In that case, Ari will write back all messages received. Send books or important details when able to.
all right.
Makes a note. We'll have downtime in the coming weeks. Lets her know about the midterm break.
Yep. Which is
A couple weeks.
2 weeks away. Well, you have the next week, and then it's midterm break.
Yeah. Fair.
So you had something that you wanted to do with Ari?
The next day.
Okay.
We'll do it over the weekend.
Yeah. So, so what would that be?
At some point, once Aries in like a general area, Crow will pass by but pause. Hey, I'm going to the range. You wanted to try out my gun?
Oh,
If you're
yes.
free.
Yes, that would be great.
Yeah. Whenever you're ready.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, do you want to go now?
Yeah, sure. And you would notice that she has like this interesting mechanism, a built thing that's currently on her arm, kind of gauntlet-like, and it has like a sort of nozzle thing on the front. It's a new creation, you've never seen it before, but she's sporting that for the first time. So I'm ready whenever. So she'll
right.
lead Ari to the practice range.
Yes. Gun.
L still being
Zonked.
zonked. He's gone from tossing and turning to just sleeping and snoring very loudly. Does Caspian take any note or interest of the Crow offering Ari the chance to shoot her gun?
Not in particular. He'd just be like, okay, you girls have fun. And he'd walk into Elle's room, try and cast, like, a lay on hands, still snoring, walks back to his room, like, comes out with, like, extra blankets and pillows and stuffs them under the door to try and, like, reduce noise.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm,
The floor is shaking.
going to try and work on this.
Good luck.
Much
Yeah.
appreciated.
See if Grave has any tips.
The silence.
There's a note just in your head of just like a hero standing at the mouth of a cave, hearing a dragon snoring. In Elle's most recent revelation.
Yeah, pretty much.
You make your way to the firing range.
So, yeah.
Well, it's not just a firing range, but there is a range. Actually, the primary place for this would be in the grounds outside.
Yeah. I figured there's an outdoor range.
Yeah, there's training areas. There's a sand pit, and there's targets set up with lines and sandbags set up to designate
They should
different
have
distances.
like designated,
and
like 5 feet, 10 feet,
Yeah,
15,
exactly.
30, 90, 120. Yeah.
yeah, there's a 500-foot one for
Wow.
those that are.
Snipers.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Because I think that's the long range. Let's see, what's the long range of a longbow?
I think it's like 900.
It's something crazy.
Wow. That's
So,
crazy.
but yeah,
it's not
that
gonna be
is
that long.
very
It's gonna be like 600.
600. Yep. So there is one at 600 as well.
Yep.
is that the longest range, or is the heavy crossbow the longest range? Heavy crossbow is only 400, so yeah. There is one at 1,000 that is just like, if you have some way of hitting that from the line, that's just...
That's like for like spell sniper, smell sniper, Eldritch blast with the extended range.
Yeah, well, one of those. It's just like, better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Exactly.
So, but you guys find yourselves down there. Go ahead and roll me a D100.
D100?
Mm-hmm.
For other students there, perhaps?
Potentially.
100.
That is a 100.
What does this mean?
I feel like I gotta give you something special.
Yes!
Okay.
Oh, special.
Okay.
What counts as special?
Do we meet Ray when Ryan's not here? That'd be so
No.
No, you meet Makoto instead.
You see two figures at the range. There's a bunch of others also around. But you see two figures at the range. One is a tabaxi. And the other catches your attention because it is a pallid elf.
I guess their whole team is visiting this week.
Well, yeah, Forge is here. Does that mean that Callan is somewhere on campus?
We'll get to that. But
Crow, I don't think she'd even notice. It's just
You would notice as soon as the pallid elf comes into range, Aerie just stops.
Aerie? No, same years. Do you know her? Do you want to say hi?
I think so.
I'll make an insight check. 12.
Aerie is not hard to read. She's somehow paler.
Crow is trying to determine what kind of emotion this is. Is this a I don't want to be near that person, or is it just shock? Or
It is more shock than anything else.
as you see the pallid elf kind of just take a dagger, holding it by the blade, and it just across the range, and at a range of 50 feet, hits a bullseye.
Nice. Crow has no clue what to do.
I didn't.
Do you want to talk to her?
I love how crazy skilled his team is.
I don't know
Graduates.
if I should.
Why not? You could be related, right?
No, they're all gone.
Gone.
They're gone. They're dead. They're gone. They're dead.
She's not.
Okay.
Crow just kind of stands there waiting for Aerie to process.
Aerie, it's like a solid 5 minutes
yeah.
of her just kind of standing there, just staring.
Do you want to take your mind off of it? It's a little rude to stare. I'm not one to talk, but
Sorry, I didn't. Ari just kind of, just like,
I was even noticed so long ago.
like, very hesitantly takes a couple steps closer, like, over the course of the next, like, couple of minutes.
Crow will try to, like, usher a little faster.
I mean, like, with Crow's, Ari's very much just, like, in shock. Mm-hmm. And with Crow's prompting, just kind of...
Just mindlessly guiding.
Yeah.
Or mindlessly guided.
Yeah, completely, like, not... Doesn't ever look in your direction.
Mm-hmm. So, Crow's just gonna lead Ari towards one of the range spots. Not forcing Ari to interact. But she's being surprisingly patient with her. Kind of just watching...
Ari kind of waits until the other elf throws the knife again.
You notice the Tabaxi kind of wave his hand, and the knife vanishes from the target and reappears.
Nice.
Hands it to her. She kind of just acknowledges and takes two and throws them simultaneously.
Nice.
One wildly misses. The other one still hits the target, and she just... Still can't get that one right.
That was a good shot.
Oh, finally decided to come talk.
See, I told you. She's fine. Okay, I didn't actually say that.
I
but, you know,
didn't
I
think
indicated it.
there were any left.
Any...
Pallid elves.
Why would you think that?
I've never seen one before, and they...
I've never seen an angel, but I know those exist.
I didn't... I'm sorry,
Hey, could you entertain the speechless ghost friend? We obviously need to have a talk. Come on.
I don't need entertainment. She won't follow, though.
Yeah, the Tabaxi kind of just... do you have, like... So you have the thing equipped.
Yeah, she's got a brand new looking... I mean, it's made of scrap
Does she
metal,
have the wings on?
What?
Does she have her wings?
Currently, no. I don't think she would have bothered to take them.
That's impressive.
It's a fire launcher thing. Built it the other day. Wanted to... I don't know,
Does it
funny
work?
idea. Well, I'm gonna find out. And she will start testing it on the range. That is Burning Hands.
Nice.
That is the flavor. So
Hell
she
yeah.
has a flamethrower on her arm.
Amazing.
Yep. Cone of flame. Yep.
Well, that's very effective.
I hope so. We just got back from a mission, fought a bunch of zombies everywhere.
Oh, this would have been your first, wouldn't it?
Anyways,
I am a graduate. We have all been there.
good for you. Can I finish?
She's so sassy.
She does not like being talked down to.
Go on.
Anyway, but yeah, big crowd, and you know, I have wings that, you know, I can hit one or two at a time, but with a crowd that big, it's just swarming, constant. Got the idea, just blast them all, you know? So, does this. She takes another attempt with it.
Very nice. How many second level spell slots do you have?
3.
3?
So, that's 2 there, but
Already?
it's fine. Yeah, she tried it twice just now.
Burning Hand's first level.
It is first level, yeah.
For some reason in my brain, I was thinking it was second.
No, I don't. No, I do not have second level.
Yeah, I was
a while.
Valid. I usually like to conjure something that does the fighting for me.
I saw the knife.
It's conjuration more than evocation.
Nah.
But
Like what?
okay, you are asking.
Making you pull up the sheet.
Uh-huh. Oh, I have his sheet. It's just a
Okay.
question of how he's going to try and impress.
Which
Crow's not acting impressed, so he needs to impress her.
Well, it's not quite conjuration, but I feel like it fits my vibe a bit more.
Vibe.
And he kind of twirls his hand in the air, and you have enough experience with the arcane to recognize very subtle movements of his fingers, essentially etching a sigil in the air as he twirls his hand.
That's cool.
The sky above you grows a bit darker, and a large creature just kind of coalescing out of the darkness. A huge,
Wow.
shadowy dragon
Nice.
that looks like it's kind of made of somewhere between a storm cloud and just kind of coalesced darkness that kind of just gathers above you.
Never seen that before. You can just do that.
Not more than once per day, but still, it's also very useful. And in a very similar method, a cone of fire, except 60 feet,
Yeah.
erupts from the dragon's mouth.
Whatever.
It's okay. Get there.
She rolls her eyes and turns back to the range.
While that is happening, the pallid elf kind of just walks for a bit until you're out of earshot range. So, oh, I realize beyond pallid elf and actually I did not describe them. Eight Winds is wearing a kind of tan leather cloak with the hood pulled up, kind of leather armor, but not very much the aesthetic of leather armor, but just being his clothing.
Yeah, no, it's fair.
And a book strapped to his side.
Why does this sound like Jazargo?
I can kind of see it
Jazargo from
Skyrim.
yeah.
Ooh,
College
what
Winter
a
Roll.
Khajiit.
Yeah.
It's the one that I showed you. No, that's Maik.
Oh yes, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Wait, is it?
Maik
Or
is
no,
the
Maik's the
Jazargo
lion.
is the one in Winterhold. Maik is the one that you encounter on the roads.
Yes. Maik.
Both of them, I believe, have kind of
Yeah, they have the same
tan
aesthetic.
cloaks.
Yeah.
Yeah. The pallid elf is wearing a kind of teal blue dress, with leather straps around the midsection, dagger hanging from her belt. It's kind of shoulderless, but has kind of these puffy sleeves. Eye-catching, but not like... Definitely not seductive or anything like that, but just like... You would definitely be able to pick her out in a crowd, but you don't know if you'd be able to keep track of her, if that makes sense. Why don't we start with introductions?
Ari, Vala.
There we go. Maquette.
Does that name sound familiar? Was Ari ever told about the names of Cass's team?
I believe so.
Cat. You're on the team with Rose.
And you are on the team with Elle.
Yes.
Forge is very talkative. So, do you have questions about Rose, or do you have questions about elves?
Where are you from?
Maya,
What part?
southeast? Well, we moved quite a lot. The town moved a lot. Are you familiar with the traveling cities? Less cities, more giant groups of caravans and wagons that fold out into something resembling homes.
Yeah, Ari's familiar enough with them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Enough. I was born in Meyer, but raised in Eris.
Your accent is a bit of a mix. Had trouble placing it at first. That's rather unique, but that checks out.
My village burned. Would have been 44 years ago. Almost 45.
I would have been very young. I don't think I'm much older than you.
I'll be 49 in a couple months.
64. The grand scheme of things.
Not that big of a difference.
Ya old farts. You are a pallet elf.
Yes, I am a pallet elf. And I am definitely not the only one. Sweetheart, half my caravan are pallet elves. Now, whatever happened to your village is obviously a tragedy, and I'm very sorry to hear. But
You don't know what happened to them.
Not directly. I know more than I know what was happening when I was 15 years old anywhere else in the world. I wasn't actually familiar with a village of just pallet elves.
I don't remember much. I'm sure there are more than just pallet elves, but I don't.
Certainly, but
at some
what are
point
you doing
I
with your
guess
hand?
just
At some point, I guess I got in my head that there was some attempt at eradicating us. I don't know quite where that came from, but I never let myself hope that there would be others of my kin out there. There's never much of a reason to.
Well, if there was a concerted effort to wipe out pallid elves, that would have to be a very, very large force. We're certainly not common, but it would still take a lot. Do you know where your village was? Like, if I showed you a map.
I couldn't. I believe the village we would move up and down within an area. Tarim Duinath, the forest between the rivers.
Between?
Southwest Mire, I believe.
My guess is that it's more south than southwest. It wasn't the region we moved around in, but more than just and she's gonna kind of cross her arms and lean in slightly and matches your gaze with a very intense and eyes up. And Ari can either make a persuasion or deception check
Okay.
on whether she is trying to contain feelings and emotions and all that, or if she is letting it show.
I don't think she really has much of a choice. She's kind of just...
What is she attempting to do?
She is still in kind of a shock. I guess I'm gonna go
We should just make like a wisdom saving throw.
deception.
It is either persuasion or deception.
I think she's gonna go deception because she's trying to hide a little bit of it.
Yeah, no, totally get it.
That's a 3 minus 2, so
Wow.
1.
Flat one.
Flat 1.
She rolled 30.
Flat 1.
Good night.
That's funny.
Oh, this being such a high level.
I think especially when she says eyes up, Ari has a slightly different reaction to that.
There is a... You can't tell whether it's comforting or uncomfortable. but an intense feeling of being known, of being seen and understood. And it is equal parts comforting and disconcerting. There's a lot more that's happened.
What do you mean?
To you, your life, the village, it's obviously a tragedy. I don't think that scratches the surface, though. I'm going to teach you something. And then I think we'll get out of your hair for a bit. But I'll be back, and we can talk plenty.
All right.
So, you know how you can fix your posture, and you can adjust a lot of the muscles in your back. If you tense the back of your neck and hold it taut and cross your fingers and put it over it, it won't work.
How do you know?
I know. So, if there's ever a frank conversation you want to have, now you know. Anyway, you obviously came here for a reason, and I did not mean to distract you.
Yes, I was going to learn how to shoot a gun.
Fantastic, you should do that. Good luck, Ari. I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
8, we're going. He just turns off. Already? I had so much more to show her. Now. Fine.
Mom is calling.
I wish. As Maquette reaches 8 wins, he kind of just puts out his hand, she takes it, and they vanish.
Oh.
And just...
Show off. You okay?
I don't know.
Me either. Do you need anything?
No, but I think I'd like to try shooting that gun.
Yeah, we can do that. Still got a lot of rounds. And she'll take her back over to the range. Teach her.
Make a dexterity check. No proficiency, obviously.
Oh, yeah. So, Crow, can I help? Because Crow would be, like, teaching her, showing her how to hold a gun. Maybe even, like, advantage. Steadying her hands.
Alright, well, that's an 8 then. We'll go with my first roll.
She's a little distracted.
As you kind of hold the pistol, you fire. The recoil is strong, and the bullet goes...
Can I try again?
Yeah, you reload. Yeah.
Okay. Do I keep rolling with advantage or no?
If Crow keeps helping, then yeah.
Anytime Aries' posture is out of place, Crow will correct it for her. Point out what she's doing wrong.
Yeah, that's much better. That's 24.
How does Crow do that?
She's kind of just like instinctively, kind of like if her
So
hand is
it's
behind,
like reaching out and
yeah, reaching
actually
out and also
adjusting.
saying like when you're looking through here, you want to make sure that you know she'll like describe to her exactly like all the informative things that you need to know.
I think there's a moment. Can you make me a wisdom save?
Yeah, I can. That's a natural one.
Part of the reason that first shot went awry is because as Crow reached to correct your aim, to just adjust your hand, you flinch hard as you see a hand moving towards you while trying to learn something new. And you flinch so hard that the bullet just goes absolutely flying. And there is a... what did you roll for the second one?
Second one was a 24.
So,
I think Ari is angry.
I like that. There is a... After you realize the hand is helping and not hurting at all, there is...
Crow would have a surprisingly gentle touch against Ares as she guides the gun.
Yeah. There's like a moment, like she after the initial shot, and she kind of flinches when Crow touches her hand.
You okay?
I think I'm angry.
I'm going to go ahead
And then she just fires and just
I'm going
hits
to
the
assume
target.
roll, let's say, 2 more at least.
All right.
Successive
Yeah.
attacks.
First one is a 19, and then still with advantage or no?
I think these would be rapid enough that
Okay.
the third
So
one,
a 19 and a 7.
a 19 and a 7. So Ari just, and the third one
Oh wait,
is...
the third one. The third one's another natural one.
Well, no, the 7 was the third one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Considering
But
the,
the idea of like you get 2 directly on target and are not being disciplined, and so the third one goes off target again. But you find yourself breathing very heavily despite a distinct lack of exertion.
I got more rounds if you need to keep going. She'll take the gun, reload it, or refill it.
And Ari's just gonna keep
Absolutely.
firing. Whether or not she hits, she's
Yep.
just going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Curtis kind of leans back and watches.
Yeah. I mean, Crow definitely picks up that there is something. I mean, you've only known Ari for 2 months at this point. And in those 2 months, you've never seen her get angry. And this is like a low simmering rage.
Yeah, there's a
Crow
sensation
earns new
of...
respect for Ari. Don't piss her off. Neat.
There's a sensation of looking at a pot on a stove with the lid being pressed down and watching the pressure build and kind of just force its way through every once in a while. And you just see this... It's not boiling over yet, but you recognize it for sure.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if this makes me feel better or not.
Check yourself once in a while.
What do you mean?
Like, yeah, let yourself feel it, but like, turn it on someone. That's what Grape said to me once, so.
Do you turn it on someone?
Or depends on the person. Why, is there someone you want to shoot?
I don't know.
If you don't want to shoot him, I'll shoot him for you. Wanna get some tea?
Yes, I think that would be good.
Yeah.
And she hands the gun back, and her hands are shaking.
Mm-hmm. I'm not really the best at making tea, but
we can go into town. I think might be nice to go on a walk.
would there be any like tea places that Crow has seen before?
I mean,
There's the coffee shop.
there's a tea shop in
Yeah, that's true.
in Serrata Tower.
That's true. Crow would be thinking more about the coffee shop that is nearby the tavern.
The hole in the wall?
Yeah. Not the hole in the wall. There is a shop. They have like the bakery, coffee, tea, all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're easily able to spend like 2 silver.
Yep. Sure.
But
Waiting for.
and as you guys go,
If there's
My nose is like
Okay, if
legit.
you
Like
say so.
I'm not crying. My nose was just a little stuffy.
Would Aerie say anything at all? Crow would just kind of sit back and be silent the entire time. She has a cup of coffee for herself, but she's just chilling.
sitting in
Next to
silence
her.
together for
Yeah.
the most part.
Crow,
Yeah.
I know you don't like to talk about yourself.
No, most people, no.
How would you feel if Grave had implied that everyone like you was dead, and then you found out that they weren't?
You're talking about the Pallid Elves.
Yes,
You said they're dead.
I thought they were. My
Let me
family
guess, she
is.
just told you they were not.
Well, my family is. I know that for certain, but I didn't realize or didn't choose to believe that there were others out there. I assumed that they all were dead, and the man the elf who raised me, let me believe that.
How far did they push it on you?
Wasn't ever explicit, I don't think, but
You never did research yourself?
no, there's no point. If everyone I know is dead, what would be the point in looking for anyone else?
I don't know.
But how would you feel if someone who could be related to you, that you thought was dead, actually wasn't, and Grave had implied that they were all dead?
You feel pretty betrayed, huh? Whether or not they intended to. In a sense, they lied to you. Misled you for years. What do you want to do about that?
I don't know yet. I don't think there's anything I can do. I'm sure he had his reasons. I don't think I should be angry with him, but I am.
So does he know?
I don't know. I think it wouldn't surprise me if he did. But I don't know.
If he did know, and then he lied to you, he deserves a hit in the face. But if he didn't know, then that's not really on him.
Yeah. Maybe he just didn't know. Or he only knew as much as I did, I think.
You can ask him.
No. Even if he did know, I'm sure he had his reasons for not telling me.
Who is he to you? A friend?
No.
Guardian figure? Like Grave to me?
Yes and no. When I was brought to the Cerulean Concord, I was about 4. And he was one of the only other elves there.
Pallet?
No, high elf. And didn't really have the time to raise a child, but I think might have been forced into it. I don't... He raised me for the first 8 or 9 years. Taught me everything I know about combat, and when I started getting a little older, I was handed over to Olive, gnomish woman,
I've heard her
wizard.
name.
And she was my primary guardian. Is my primary guardian. But Thalion, Prime Inquisitor Thalion Regalda. He's...
Fancy.
Yes, very. Very skilled. He remained my secondary guardian, taught me everything I know about combat, and anything I know about elven culture I learned through him. So, sort of my guardian, more of a warden, though.
I don't really know the difference.
Less of a caretaker, more just someone there to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
Okay. So there's not really any personal relation. He serves a role in your life, maybe important, but he's not a friend.
Would you consider your... I don't even know if you were supposed to consider parents friends. I think El might be friends with his father, but...
I think he can be.
Are you supposed to be friends with people in charge of you?
If you get along, sure. If you don't like him,
No, I look up to him very much.
well,
I owe him everything. So,
Usually, friends are kind of more of an equal standing basis, even if not, like, structure-wise. Like, you get along, you know?
well, we're certainly not equals.
Well, he means something to you. So, when you feel like he has betrayed you by not telling you the truth, it hurts. Right?
Yes?
And you're mad.
I think so, but I shouldn't be.
Why not?
'Cause
You're allowed to feel.
either he didn't know or he had his reasons for not telling me.
That doesn't
So-
mean you're not hurt. Look, you can't fake hurt. You can bury it all you want, but it's gonna rear its head. You can talk about it now, or you can bury it away for it to be a problem later. Also, something Grave said to me.
I was going to say that sounds very much like Grave talking through you.
Yeah,
Have you taken that advice?
we're not talking about that right now.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Would you?
Now, as a disclaimer, I'm not like the best person to talk about this with. I get it. Like, I've been there, but like, this is Crow we're talking about. I'm not great with words.
Would you mind-
if you wanted like a legit help? Like, I have to recommend Grave. He's better with words. He has an annoying way of getting into your head and just getting things out on the plate for him to work with. But it's fine.
I don't know, but would you mind not telling Elle about this?
I didn't plan on it.
Okay.
I assume he knows nothing about this.
He knows bits and pieces. He knows about Thalion and Olive. Hasn't interacted with Olive far more. Thalion's not really around whenever Elle was. And he knows about my village, but I'd rather have some more time to process this new information.
That's fine. It's a lot. Something you're told since you're, what, 4?
Yes.
And you're an elf. How many years is that? in
Almost
elf?
almost 45 years.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, just take your time. That's fine. Grave's always around if you need to talk about it.
I don't know how Cass would react either.
I don't think he'd get it. He doesn't comprehend the kinds of things we've been through comparatively.
You say we, you lost people too.
Most people have.
I understand.
It's part of life.
Tea is good.
The coffee's good. Mine's cold.
Mine's gone.
You all done?
I think for now.
Will you not back?
I might like to spar at some point. Not with the gun.
With me?
Not necessarily. With anyone,
Someone?
really.
Take out your anger, sure. Sounds fun.
Should try the pole sparring was interesting.
Glad you had fun.
It might be a good way to practice. I'm thinking about learning Samira's method of being able to
Throw attacks.
throw attacks. And if we borrowed that setup and you had your wings and we sparred with you in the air and me trying to balance,
Yeah.
it might be a good way to practice.
Not a bad idea.
Still a ways off, though. I can't dwell on this too much. There's plenty of coursework coming up that I'll need to focus on.
Yeah. I heard there's more missions ahead too, after break.
Are you staying at the school for break?
I have nowhere else to go. Like, grave is literally home for
That-
me. I go wherever he goes.
That makes sense. I would like to look more into Firesight's hoard.
You think it's still here?
There's no record of it ever being found, and I think I reached out to Olive, and they might have some records at the Concord that the school and the town do not. And
Do we have to share with them
no.
if we find it?
Well, there might be a few things. Items of interest that they could study, but the majority of it would still be ours. I think.
I think we could look into it.
So,
Been to the ruins a few times. I haven't found any kind of hoard, but
well,
you know, there's a lot
I
to
might-
look around for.
I might have a few leads that we can look into. So if that's something you're interested in doing over break,
Yeah, treasure hunting?
could be.
Yeah. I like the sound of that.
Much easier for you to get up there than I think it would be for Elle. He had some issues climbing last time.
Did Aaron just smile?
A little bit.
Yeah. Well, I think it'd still be fun to have him along, right?
I mean, yes. Just
Enjoy
you
his
might
company.
you might have to carry him.
He can fly.
He can fly up. He can't exactly fly down, so he has to pick.
Oh, don't
which-
worry. I got it. I can help him out.
Okay.
Crow has featherfall.
Yeah, if you're able to help him, that would be great.
yeah, no worries. I got it.
And maybe Cass could come along too. If you, I expect he'll probably head home.
I guess so. I can help the whole team if we need it, so. Yeah. Crow will start getting up and
Yeah.
lead them back out.
All right.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Backstory.
Yeah!
Finally.
as Caspian is kind of getting ready for the day.
Which mostly includes him throwing everything from the spare room up against Elle's door. Like, there's a mattress, and like all the pillows and blankets are stuffed up against there.
It hasn't made an inch of a difference.
I'm sure Cass is probably just sitting at like the kitchen bar, just like head in his hands.
You're
Like,
allowed to leave the room.
but he's trying to figure out.
Can you make me an athletics check? Because I want to see. There's.
Oh, that's not a good one. That's 11.
At 11? It took you a minute, but you at one point, like, got the entire couch and just propped it up and leant it against the door.
Yeah.
It's probably from IKEA. It's real light. What's fancy IKEA?
What's our fancy idea?
And there is a, the...
Enter?
Barely ignored.
I don't know if...
The portal apparates.
Okay.
And, Callan walks into the room.
Callan! And Cass will run up and he'll give him a hug.
Vertical couch.
The room is destroyed.
Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you too. What are you doing here?
Well,
Was he to describe him?
Yes.
Cass, but bigger, stronger.
With dark hair.
Hot Cass.
I
Cass,
mean,
but attractive.
rude.
why don't you describe him?
Okay.
You're the one that made...
I did. It's also been a long time.
He just looks like your brother.
He, no, he
bit.
doesn't actually.
Okay.
But he is very he is very much the jock, like, football player, big, like, buff.
If Caspian is prep, Callan is jock.
Yes.
Valid.
But in very
Goth
many ways, yeah, in very many ways, he looks like Caspian, but he has like dark, almost black hair.
Also.
Yeah.
Is that Maquette?
Pretty.
Nice. Let me see if I can find, because it's been a very long time. There we go. Caspian Tenet. Family. I had this really well organized at one point.
Sent me a Google Doc and everything.
I did.
I still have that somewhere.
Oh, and I have him. Is he in his armor right now?
Yes.
Okay. So he is currently.
Nice.
There we go.
Nice.
Yeah, you should send me the whole team again, because it's been a while. But yeah, he is wearing similarly colored armor to Cass, but instead of red cloaks, it's like all the fabric is like a white, and his armor is like a dark tealish blue with like a darker bronze.
So, he kind of just as you hug him, he kind of hugs you back. Well, Forge was visiting, and he met your teammate.
Oh, which one?
Elios.
Ah, the sleeping dragon.
Is that what that is?
Yes, he is currently sick, and I cannot, by any means.
Reminds you too much of Dad.
Dad wasn't that loud.
On occasion. Especially when he was sick.
Well, I suppose. Our house is better soundproofed, though.
I think it's just bigger.
Yes, that's true.
But he Forge mentioned that that is the third time in a row it has interrupted me.
Alright, add it to the list. I'll come by at some point and fix it.
I've had an actual
Can I
technician come by and they couldn't do anything.
Can I just put a new fridge in our registry? Would
Yes.
anyone buy that?
That is
Honestly,
allowed.
it's not a bad idea.
That'd be great.
Forge and Anne apparently had a conversation.
About Rose.
Indeed.
Ah, I see.
It was a bit of a wake-up call. The idea that my little brother was being more active in investigation than I was.
What, like... Were you not... I haven't hardly done anything. I've really just asked about it. I haven't discovered anything. Or...
After the summer and not finding any leads, my team decided to spend some time apart. Get our heads straight. So I've been at home. I arrived almost the day after you left.
Ah.
And for 6 weeks, 7 now almost, that's where I've been. Moping.
I have to admit, the idea of you moping is...
Well, I didn't say I was proud of it.
Well, as strong as you are, I suppose there are some things that are too much for anyone to bear. But,
You know, I think that's the problem.
what?
I know that I have the training. I know that I have the strength. You know it. You've seen me.
I have. I've experienced it. You were my first true sparring partner, and I felt it. And that is why I have armor.
Good, then I taught you correctly.
Not strong enough, apparently. I had to get it fixed already.
But it's exactly that. It didn't matter. Wasn't enough.
Well, for now, maybe. It doesn't mean it always will be. I mean, that's why we constantly work to get stronger.
It wasn't enough to save her. All of them have their own theories.
What's yours?
Make a persuasion check.
I want to ask for advantage because it's my brother.
It's
But
the fact that he's your brother is the reason it's not disadvantage.
that's a 17.
17. I have less of a theory and more of a... Go ahead and make an insight check.
Okay. Also, I just need to point out, I think it's really weird that he doesn't have the same accent as Cass.
I'm trying. I'm not good at voices.
That's okay. Well, next time we play
I'm
Sea of Thieves,
simultaneously
I'll do
trying
it.
to get. I'm simultaneously trying to get the accent and have his voice be a little bit lower, and it's hard to do
doing
them
a lot.
simultaneously. Insight is a.
That's a 4.
Cool.
If you ignore that it's a 1 on the die.
Yeah, that's a 1. So you are kind of just enraptured in listening. You're not really looking.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is less of a theory and more of a problem.
What do you mean?
Either someone set her up for failure, stole her shadow, and has who knows what planned. Or there's a lot that she didn't tell me. And I don't know which one would be worse.
Look, Rose was spunky and
Very, very vocal.
yes. I didn't know her as well as you did, but I have to be honest, that one sounds far-fetched to me. I would be more inclined to believe that, as much as I can't figure out why, I would be, between the two of them, more inclined to think that someone set her up for failure.
And while that's true, it also meant that none of us saw it coming.
Can't see everything, I suppose.
But not even a hint. That mission should have been cut and dry. We had killed more monsters than I could count. Something was not right. You knew her in the later years. Mm-hmm. And I know you looked up to her. When we first started, she was more than spunky.
A pain in my ass, is I believe your direct phrasing.
To say the least. The Rose that we knew there's just too many unknowns, and that's frustrating.
I understand.
So, we are here. We're going to talk to the headmaster. And we're going to start looking into leads,
I hope,
if any exist.
well, if you ever need any help, obviously you know that I'm more than willing, and so is
obviously
Elle.
you know that you are nowhere near ready.
That doesn't mean that I'm... maybe I can be a help other places. Maybe I won't be up there fighting monsters with you side by side. Maybe one day. I know not yet, but maybe if you need someone to look into things or anything really, I'd be more than willing to help. Elle would be more than willing to help. Obviously, I can't get him to not keep his nose out of other people's business, so this is his anyway. But you're not alone in this, trying to find a solution. And maybe Elle and I having fresh hope is what you need. Elle, from the brief time I've known him, is not going to give up on this at all. He is, I can already tell, more stubborn than you are. So, more stubborn than Isana, I think. In a very
That
different
would be
way.
a sight to see.
But yes. I don't think he would give up on this for anything, so...
Well, neither mine.
That's more of what I remember of you.
Yes. Puts a hand on your shoulder and just kind of grips it in the way that brothers do.
Yep.
And then pulls you in for a hug.
Yep.
All right. Well, we have a little bit before our meeting, so you are going to tell me all about your first mission.
Oh. Yes. The mission. Mushroom Man. I'll tell you what, brother. My first mission was nothing like I expected it to be. And he will go through and tell him all about Mushroom Man and the zombies, and he will tell him about Crow.
He will remember.
He will.
You should make sure to keep an eye on her.
Yes, obviously, she's not... Very much, I feel like, in the way that... Well, maybe not quite in the same way that Rose was a pain in your ass, but I feel like she's being a bit of a pain in mine.
I don't doubt that, but... It's never that surface level.
I'm learning, I think. From what little I have found out.
Let me clarify. If your divine sense was telling you something is wrong, then something is wrong. And even if it's not apparent at first, even if she appears normal, just don't let your guard down. I would hate to see something happen to you.
Understood. You've gone through your whole 5 years here. Were there any really trouble students who, like, got kicked out or expelled for rotten behavior?
No. No students. Not in my time. You hear stories, certainly. There were others that I certainly thought were not suited for the life, but it wasn't my decision.
That's true.
And I trust Solus.
Speaking of the headmaster, because that's Solus, right? Yeah. I'm sure you've been to his office, and you've seen. Did he
Never told me.
never told you?
Refused outright.
But he fought alongside Dad.
Perhaps. Kataios is an ancient creature. Dad has not been the only person to fight him.
Does he know about Dad? Or the Knights?
As far as I'm aware, no.
Okay. I was a little surprised to see that in there. And I have to be wary of Elle because, like I said, Elle doesn't... he doesn't know when to keep his nose out of things he shouldn't, and,
That's maquette
Ah,
for me.
I guess there's one in every group.
It's a asset if you know how to use it.
Well, I guess I better start learning.
Here's my advice. If they're poking around something you don't want them, give them something else to poke at.
Okay.
Don't try to get them to stop because they won't. Redirect.
That's a good idea. I'm not really sure I have things else for him to poke at. I guess I better try and come up with something.
Come up, or doesn't have to be you. When Maquette got a little too close to figuring out some things about our family, I actually pointed her towards Rose. And that occupied her for a long while.
Okay. Interesting. I'll have to figure that out. You were always a little bit quicker on your feet than I have been, so I'll have to practice.
Comes with time.
Yes, I'm sure I'll get my practice with him and Crow.
Look for the strengths and how you can use them, no matter how asinine they decide to be. If you're directing them, even annoyance can be an asset.
I've had plenty of that recently.
So just imagine the way that you're feeling. Just imagine your enemies feeling that way.
Ooh, that's a good perspective. Although I'm not sure that force-feeding an enemy mushrooms would be an effective means of combat.
Depends on the mushroom.
Necrotic?
Could be quite useful.
Well, I'll remember that in the future.
Difficult to pull off, but potentially.
Elle will find a way.
I have no doubt. And if he's doing it to the enemies, he isn't doing it to you.
That's true. That is a very good point. I will have to keep on top of that. Why do I feel like this is going to be a really, really long 5 years?
It probably will be. And when it's done, it'll feel like it went by in 5 days.
Thanks, Cal.
Well, our meeting is coming up. Will you be coming home for the half-term break?
Well, that's the plan.
Good. I'll try to make sure I'm around at some point.
Good. I miss my bed. And the quiet. And Gerald. He makes good tea.
He does.
Harry's pretty good. But Gerald is a master.
Indeed. Good luck. He ruffles your hair, and
You know I'm too old for that.
you will never be too old for that.
Oh. I wish I was bigger than you.
And as he chuckles, he walks out the portal and is gone.
Do Airy and Crow pass by him on their way back up? Or do we take too long?
I think y'all's conversation would have lasted.
Man, I could say comments. I could say things.
I think with the transport time as well, y'all would have taken longer.
Okay.
Alright.
Sad. Next time. Maybe.
But I do think that with that conversation completed, that's a decent place to wrap up this episode.
Well, let me go for like an hour.
We're at 2.
Oh, really?
Time flies. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you next time. Good night.